Hello, everyone. Welcome to another round of Arbitration Studios. This week, continue our journey across the whole damn thing of Mass Effect 2. I'm JP Arbiter.
And I'm Captain Jack.
And we are going to be hanging out in old New York. I will never sing again.
No, it's okay. You're not bad. I mean, I've heard worse. But no, I always thought of it a little bit more as Space Singapore than Space New York. New York's got rules.
I mean, if anything, so does Ilium. Ilium has an abundance of rules, which is why the first rule is don't sign anything.
But their rules are all capitalist based. There's some rules in New York that are not based in capitalism.
Or they're based in an overabundance of capitalism. Anyway, we are wandering around Ilium, and we will be doing a video on Ilium itself later on down the line. But for now, we have an assassin we gotta recruit.
Oh, I love Thane. Like, just as a whole character, I feel like he is one of the better companions in the sense of being just a fully fleshed out being.
He does have that compelling story. The whole I've first off, it has that question of, is an assassin morally bankrupt by virtue of being an assassin or not?
Exactly.
And because at one point, is it the assassin's fault, the lives that he takes, or is it the person who hired him? And in a common law sense of the word, the answer is yes. You have the right to say no, and you don't. But at the same time, it's just,
I've always thought when it came to assassins, it sort of depends on who they're killing. It sort of depends on, who it is that they are. If they're not going against civilians, if they're going against, organized crime targets or whatever. Good Lord, this woman has very intense eyes. I'm not sure what he did to her, but
and very intense skin too. That is.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we rarely see Asari who are on the purple end of the blue spectrum.
It's true. It's true. We rarely.
I love how she's pointing at the skyline, like I would be able to figure out which fucking building we're looking at.
No. There's a lot of in a lot of these games that have the walkie-talkie or running around talkie or whatever you have it. The people you're talking to generally seem to assume that you are omnipotent. in a small way.
Fun little fact, they just brought up that Thane's target seems to be Nisana Dantius, who we had a run-in our last game very briefly. She wanted to talk to us about her sister being held hostage, and then we went and accidentally killed her sister and said, oh, by the way, we cleaned up that mess for you.
Indeed. And it turns out that she's a person that deserves Thane.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are picking our crew. Now, I myself love me some Morden, but I rarely use him in combat situations.
The secret to when I pick out people is generally what's the situation where there will be the most intrigue in interacting with the character that we're recruiting. In our last character recruitment after this one, Samara, I completely go against type on that. I bring our psychotic and I bring Thane. So it's like, So Justicar has to look at the other two people I'm bringing along for the ride and going, do I really want to swear an oath of fealty to this guy?
Right? No, I get you. I don't know, when I'm playing these games, I tend to be a little bit of a, I get stuck in a rut sometimes character-wise, and I end up, it always goes back to, Tally and Garrus.
Yeah.
I mean,
best
honestly.
best friend squad is best friend squad for a reason. I get you.
You got to give the people what they want.
It helps also that we're doing this on a reduced difficulty level, that this isn't a legendary run through like what Prime Radiancy is doing.
Ooh.
So it's not hard as a result.
Right.
But so the whole idea is that we get to enjoy the character interactions more, because that's really where the gold for Mass Effect is.
Yeah, no, this is no lie. I think that BioWare really set the standard in character interactions with their earlier works and their continued.
Oh shit!
Oh god! Oh no! It's the Terminator!
Ba-bum, bum, ba-bum.
Oh no!
It's the Terminator and his dogs!
Oh god! Skynet is taking over!
Chat GPT has reached sentience!
Sorry, that's the later game. That's a later adventure. But this opening one is interesting. To me, anyways, I was interested in the fact that they use so many mechs, not just in this opening scene, obviously, but in the overall of this game. This particular game, mechs are kind of a go-to sort of. We don't know what kind of enemy we want to put here. Let's put mechs.
Well, and the thing about mechs, the thing about what essentially are drones, is that it's very unambiguous.
Yeah.
There's...
Yep.
Yeah,
Now,
gunning down mechs is a question of you are costing the other person nothing but money.
Yep.
I say that, and we're going to be slaughtering a bunch of sentient beings soon, too.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me nearly as much as the money. I am a capitalist, after all. But anyways.
Just remember, communism doesn't work until you reach late-stage capitalism.
It's true. But here's the thing. We missed it because we did it and we were talking about something else. But the mini games actually were pretty enjoyable, I feel like. In this one.
They were a lot more clever than the Simon, that little electronic game. They were a lot better than that in previous games, and really throughout most of this I had edited it out, but I wanted to, because there's not much up until we reach Thane. There's not much to talk about.
Right. Absolutely.
I left it in here so that way we can talk about the minigame sequence. The memory pins on the circuit board are definitely a lot more interactive, and I enjoy it as a fun little diversion. The programming code blocks that's frustrating as hell, because I am horribly dyslexic.
Yes.
Reading is a chore, which sucks because I love fiction. And hell, now I write fiction and have been published.
Yeah. Proud of you for that one.
But now it's
yeah. No, I get it.
But now I have to decipher it, and fortunately it's color coded too. But that's
I do it almost predominantly on the color. I'll be honest with you. I do it almost predominantly on the colors when I do that one. And then, of course, the electronic, where you're matching the electronic symbols, I think is cool because they're actually using legitimate electronic symbols.
And if you
symbols that we would use on a wiring diagram.
And you follow the wiring, the pins work. It's not just random placement over a picture.
Right.
So
exactly.
there was some effort put into that.
My love for BioWare is that when it was on its own, before it, before
EA swallowed it up.
Yeah, before EA swallowed it up. And then a little bit after, and then you can see some glimmers of it with the EA BioWare games.
Mm-hmm.
Is in the they do have an attention to detail, and they do have a we want this world to be immersive. We want you to really get into this story. And here we have one of those little Terminator dogs, which I still can't they're annoying as hell, but I don't. I feel like they're what people who can't afford the ones with guns would buy, honestly.
Well, and maybe you want for a active security system, not a passive security system like cameras. Maybe you'd want something where your intention is to corral people.
Yeah.
Get them, either deter them away from places or corral them out.
Well, I've always had a hypothesis that mankind makes robots in two forms for a reason. They are constantly trying to make the bipedal humanoid-shaped robot
because we're lonely and horny.
When there's absolutely no reason to do so. And then the dog-shaped one, when there's absolutely no reason to do so. Every shape imaginable, and we choose the dog and the
two things that we're the most comfortable with.
The two things we're the most comfortable with. The two things that are going to fit into our environment the most. Because a cylinder rolling around on three wheels just really doesn't actually fit into most human environments. Because stairs.
There's a joke about that in Borderlands with a character called Claptrap.
I believe played by Jack Black.
In the movie,
yes. In the movie? Yes.
But the Claptrap series of robots are monocycles.
Yeah.
Gyroscopically stabilized monocycles. And they do have a problem with stairs, and in Borderlands 2, the Claptrap character is opening a door. This humongous vault door is like, all right, handsome Jack, the name of the bad guy, there's nothing that can stop me from my revenge now. The door opens, and it's this, the Philadelphia Public Library staircase.
Yeah.
And he just goes, stairs? No! Screaming no for like a solid minute.
Yeah, I know. But it's just, I've always, I find that one of the things I really enjoy about what BioWare did with Mass Effect is that, as much as it's science fiction, it's futurism. This is an idea. Some of this is an idea for what the future could look like, based on technologies that we discover and whatnot. But I believe strongly that one of the things is that we will make dog-shaped robots because...
Well, we are making dog-shaped robots.
Indeed,
Boston Dynamics.
Because even in space, even when we cannot have an actual canine, humans will do whatever it takes to have dogs. I think that is a
I would love a robot
imperative.
dog. Because I can't do real dogs.
Right. And I think we're spending so much time trying to come up with AI that mimics human. I think we would also come up with...
Humans are horny and we want to bang Bishop.
Well, yeah, that's.
We want to have sex with Lance Henriksen. I do, don't you?
Well, of course. Just listening to his voice on this game, you're like, oh my gosh. That's the granddaddy of sci-fi.
One of two men to have been slain by a predator, a xenomorph, and a Terminator.
Yep.
Although the other one, Bill Paxton, whether or not he was slain by a Terminator is questionable.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's kind of inferred because one of his buddies got his heart ripped out.
Very true.
But Bill Paxton himself was just thrown against a grate and knocked out.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Well, here's the thing: you can, if somebody is knocked out for anything over a minute, there's a good chance they're going to have
brain damage,
and or be dead. Humans don't get, despite what the movies and stuff will show you, humans don't get knocked out.
But
like that without.
No, but you know what humans will do if they've taken enough of a beating, even if they don't lose consciousness?
Go to sleep.
They'll stay down.
Yeah, no, they will.
Because it's like playing dead, being passive.
Absolutely.
Is your last life-saving option.
Which is what I'm telling Jake Paul to do.
Jake,
just play dead. He may leave you alone.
Jake, this is God. What the hell are you thinking? Don't remember what happened to Holyfield?
Yeah, no.
I watched that fight live.
Yeah, indeed. And here we have, again, here's one of the mini games that I am a huge fan of. I like this one a lot better than and I know this is just a match game, essentially, but because of the fact that it is a wiring diagram, a wiring schematic, I like it, but I feel like I have more of a... and here we have people,
Now, don't get me wrong. I think it's perfectly reasonable here for Shepard to pull her gun. Because it's
do.
like, I don't know who you people are.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. I'm down with her pulling out the gun and everything like that.
I mean, I would have still had a low draw when they said, we're workers and we got locked in here, but...
I'd keep my finger off the trigger, like a damn professional.
It's easy to... Figure off the trigger is easy to do with those guns, though, because that trigger is like a freaking...
It's true.
Log sticking out the bottom.
It's true.
The things that need to be done to accommodate every species.
Well, that's the deal. There's another
equal opportunity murder.
Indeed. There's another thing I really like. Now, of course, we have the Solarians here, who are bipedal, who are humanoid, ish. They have some things different, but they are humanoid. Most of the aliens you interact with are humanoid, but they do make a point to point out and to let us know that there are species that are not humanoid, which I like. Which is
the Hanar, the Elcor, the two big ones. I still wonder if the Volus are only human shape because of their suits.
Indeed, they very well may be. My whole thing is that whenever they I love Star Trek. Don't get me wrong, but Star Trek has very few aliens who are actually alien, which is understandable because that's. At the time, it was when it first came out. Of course, it was.
We have a shoestring fucking budget.
Shoestring budget and everything. So dudes with appliances are who we're going with. But later on, and of course that just became the norm in sci-fi, that all aliens look roughly human. And of course, anybody that has looked into astronomy or anything like that realizes that there's very little chance that any aliens we encounter.
Actually, here's a fan theory that I just saw on Reddit about what Volus look like under their suits.
For those of you that, since you're listening to us and you can't see what we're looking at, he just held up a picture of Danny DeVito.
I'll make sure in post put that up.
Which is a perfectly, I think, serviceable look for Volus. And in fact, if they do a television show of Mass Effect and they have a Volus character, I believe Danny DeVito should in fact be the cast as the lead Volus.
Speaking of which,
actually, the fellow that played Quark.
Armin Sherman.
Armin Sherman, yeah. I think he also would make a fantastic Volus.
Now, so, fun thing, when the Pokemon live-action movie Detective Pikachu was announced and everything was going on, people were saying that because the Pikachu in that movie could speak human speech and be understood, that people wanted him to be voiced by Danny DeVito. Now, of course, that did not happen. We got Ryan Reynolds. But here's the thing. There was a sequel game to Detective Pikachu called Detective Pikachu Returns. And if Detective Pikachu had a Sherlock Holmes hat, he was followed around in that game by a Slowpoke with a Watson Bowler. Now we could have that Slowpoke as Danny DeVito, but I'm not sure that would work. But we have another character. You see, in the newest season of the anime, which is moving on from the Ash Ketchum character, there is a Pikachu with, like, a sailor's captain's hat.
Nice.
Captain Danny DeVito Pikachu.
Indeed. Now, hold this thought. Right here, I believe we have...
Greatest interaction ever.
Indeed. And I believe right here is where you really determine who your shepherd is. Where you really determine the type of person that your shepherd is. Now, we have made many choices up to this point, many various different events. And,
I'll just call it what it is. Our morality is generally good, but kind of all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. We're all over the place. This is where we decide what is it that we truly are going to be. Are we going to be, the kind of person that does
this is what we're going to be.
and the answer, of course, is yes, because when there is a question, Agatha Fistie's answer is always
be Fistin.
I'm
Agatha goddamn Fistie. I'm the baddest bitch of all time.
That's right. So that's we now know the character that we're going to be playing.
Punching. You know, they say math is the universal language, but you got to remember that mathematics has multiple dialects in what is your root base.
Indeed.
Punching is punching.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, you get punched in the face, you understand you done fucked up.
Exactly. See, in math, 2 plus 2 can actually equal something other than 4. Most people don't realize that, but it's for various degrees of 2, or for various degrees of 4. You basically have to assert what that 2 is, what that, what 2 of what, 2 number, what is it? There's a lot of things that go into math. Punch to the face.
Someone is upset with me, and I must determine whether to be upset with them or to apologize.
Is a very, very simple, straightforward communication style.
Are you guys all right in here?
And we got another one. Oh, and
this one drew a gun on us, which doesn't seem to be wise.
Always
He's going to be
fisted.
fisted.
I'm Agatha goddamn Fistie. I'm the baddest bitch of all time. You pull a gun on me, you get the fist.
I was about to say I'm Agatha Fistie.
Are you the ones who shot the merc?
He's like, what the hell did you do? You pulled a gun on me.
He pulled a gun and he got the fist. That's how it goes.
Look, I've punched eldritch cybernetic gods, okay?
That's true.
He shouted more.
That's true, and that's just talking about my ex-wife.
Picked up the merc's gun.
Ooh.
And you showed up.
She's an eldritch whore.
No, she's an eldritch whore. Not horror, whore.
No, fair point. But anyways, we have this situation here with that we have found multiple Solarians locked in rooms and closets and things of that nature. And I feel like that's kind of becoming the Solarian's purpose in life, is to be locked into some sort of room.
Martin would say that was terribly problematic and derivative.
Yes, right.
Come on, get up before she punches you again.
Indeed.
Actually, I'll tell you what. I'll let you punch him one more time, just for the lulz.
I mean, I do love a fistin'. There's nothing like a good fistin' in the morning to get you going.
This all started with a bad joke.
As most of our relationship has. Actually.
I just thought Agatha Fistie.
Yeah.
Because of how often you get to punch people's lights out in Mass Effect.
There are 2 things that I really love in video games. One of them, and there's a lot of things I love, but there are 2 things that just stick out as being things that I love that are weird. And one of them is, of course, punching. Things that should not be punched. Is punching things that should not be punched, or punching things that you're not like you look at and you go, huh?
Why did you hit them?
Yeah. Punching that doesn't seem like it would be a smart idea. For instance, Krogan. I love to punch Krogan in this game. I love, only because they won't let
So long as they're not in their PPC fueled battle rage.
Indeed. But, only because they won't let me love Krogan. Do I fight with Krogan. But also in Star Trek Online, I love punching Klingons.
A Klingon will have one of two reactions to that. One, he'll straight up murder you, or two, he'll laugh and you'll drink together.
Yeah, indeed.
Then murder you.
Indeed, I just like to I like to punch things that I shouldn't be punching. That's all. And of course, throughout this game, we experience throughout this game run through, we will experience much in the way of fisting. Just like my ex-wife.
So I brought out an old friend for this section just because we're never going to get as golden an opportunity to use the black hole gun as we will here.
No, yeah, you're right. This is a very good section for it. I never actually use it in games because I find it's there's no really good, there's very few sections that is the perfect weapon for. But yeah, no, this is it.
The flamethrower, if anything, has the least utility.
Yes.
Because even in the area where we got it, it was...
Yep. The flamethrower has the least utility, but it is the most fun because it's a flamethrower.
The arc projector probably has the most utility, and it's at least entertaining because of the whole zappy zaps.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, here we go.
The B
and G. Just down that line. Thanks for coming out, guys.
Ooh!
It's so pretty.
It is pretty. It is delightful.
I'm feeling round two. Are you feeling round two?
I am feeling it. Give it to me, baby.
Ba ba da bow.
You know why that hurts you? Because you can't see me. I'm sorry. That is lame and stupid, and really only John Cena can pull it off. It just sounds weird from anybody else.
You'll never see me coming.
I'm glad for that. The first time I played through this, the two cannons on the top really gave me a run for my money.
That's what the heavy weapons are for.
And then, exactly, after that, I
learn to use the grenade launcher. It's boring but effective.
I learned to use the grenade launcher. I learned to use the rocket launcher. I learned to use all of the launchers. Because I've played through this about 7 or 8 times, the whole series, including the much maligned Andromeda, which I think is a perfectly serviceable game. But we'll go into that when we play.
Mass Effect Andromeda falls into what I call the Alien series paradox. Alien and Aliens are 2 movies that knocked it out of the goddamn park.
Yeah.
And sci-fi fans are the absolute worst in that they demand that every subsequent film in a series exceeds its predecessor.
Yeah, that's
Alien 3 was perfectly serviceable.
Yes, it was.
Aliens versus Predator, you got exactly what you got, what it said on the tin. I never understood why people was like, oh, it was horrible. I got Yautja and Xenomorphs killing each other. I didn't need much more than that.
Speaking of aliens killing each other, speaking of aliens with tentacles in weird places getting killed,
those are their ears.
I know.
What do you call this? You've practically destroyed my
So
town.
she's up here pontificating.
She's trying to be Donald Trump and buying her way out of this, but much like Donald Trump, you don't got the money, bitch.
And honestly,
Make me an
my
offer.
my only regret in this
Double
situation
whatever you're
is
getting.
that there is not an
Without that
opportunity
double
to
again.
do some fisting.
What?
I do love the
Uh,
fact
I
that
need something.
that we got the option
Check
of
the other
I'll pay
entrances.
you to walk away. Really? How much? Double what you're getting. Gonna have to do better than that because I'm not getting shit.
this is just watching this is just to think about this in a live action.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Well, we've seen it in live action. The opening sequence of Leon.
Oh no. Yeah. Very
Leon,
true.
Leon the Professional.
Very true. Very true. I think nowadays, if they were going to do this and they were going to play this, I think that
Not bad.
Thane would Keanu Reeves would actually be fantastic as Thane.
The
And,
problem is that for either a live action or even an animated production of this, they would want to anime the hell out of the fight and try to make it as flashy.
Oh, yeah,
his
yeah.
actions as
Yeah,
flashy and
no.
long as possible. When Thane, as an assassin,
Is
he kills
efficient.
quickly.
No, it's true, and that's why I said Keanu Reeves because his John Wick is very efficient in his killing. It's not a Hong Kong martial arts movie. It is very efficient killing, and Thane. I like that for Thane. I like Thane's character. I like the fact that he is a fully actualized
Here I am.
character. I also. I love his where he goes. I
you know I was
do this
coming
one,
at all?
no charge. That always I just thought that was neat that he would say that.
This was his last.
Yeah,
Who are you pointing the gun at?
You saw
yeah,
the
no,
stranger.
not Thane.
She believed
If you're
that
smart.
would kill her.
Well, it was like she was at one point, but then she's staying still, and he walked right past it, and so the gun's like.
Let's cut to the
At-
chase.
Well, and there's the other thing. If you play these games enough, like we have, you notice a lot of these little
Reputation.
tiny, imperfections and whatnot, which is perfectly fine.
Mhm.
That happens. They had, Andromeda got crucified for having them.
Mhm.
When it's like every game in the series has had one, or
Yeah.
2, or 10.
Going after them.
You know, where did that Geth Froggy boy go? You know,
Yeah.
who still sniped you, even though you like lifted and exploded him way up there.
Yep. But here we are. We're picking up Thane, who has some of the most profound statements, and is really just a very peaceful character, despite being an assassin. There's a sense of calm and peace.
Well, again, you think that an assassin, when they're not working, would be peaceful. They wouldn't be jazzed up all the time.
You would.
You're dying.
Part of me kind of wanted Thane to be like
If you're
secretly a speed addict or whatnot, but they gave him this
Kepler syndrome.
Kepler
yeah.
syndrome, I'm dying thing to it, where it's just like, oh
Right.
god,
It
you're naturally this horrifying.
Yeah, and it gets so much worse. It really does. And obviously most people watching this will have played this, but if you haven't, I'm just settle yourself for this. It's
Well, It's actually really, and we'll see this more as we explore Thane's character and his loyalty mission.
yeah.
But with female Shepherd, Thane gets a little, problematic's not the right word, but he gets a little uncomfortable with, and you don't realize it until you reach that point of, where you actually do romance him.
Yeah.
As a female shepherd, but if you don't romance him as a female shepherd, but you do interact with him and go through the full interaction sequence, you find out he still falls in love with you, but he acknowledges internally that you don't feel the same way, or you're not going to take that chance with him. So, but he'll call you that word. It is Sia, I think.
Yeah,
And it's just like, oh shit, that's kind of, and we're gonna see that because we made the decision to go with Liara through and through with only one side chick. Spoilers.
Where shall I put my things?
So anyway, and Jacob's an ass because, for some reason, artificial intelligence is fine. Killer scientist is fine. Krogan super soldier is fine, but an assassin, That is a moral step too far. For fuck's sake, Jacob.
And honestly, the most moral, ethical guy on the ship is probably Thane.
Help we can get.
This is why when we solve Jacob's loyalty mission, we will never see him again.
It's true. It's
So-
absolutely true.
Anyway, that is that for recruiting Thane. When we come back, we will be recruiting our last squad mate, Samara. So, until then,
Deuces.
I have no idea why we keep doing the hand gestures.
Me neither.